Uniquely Ella. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to link on my social media underneath where you can follow me. Instagram, my YouTube is kind of semi-private, but my Instagram, I'm posting there every day, um, sometimes twice a day, so that's where I'm more current. Okay, today I'm going to try to attempt to make my first video with a voiceover, which is hilarious. And I'm trying to get the hang of it because it feels, to me, it feels a little bit fake, because I'm not used to it. And of course, I picked the longest video that I have. This is a little bit over an hour, so please feel free to put it in the background, um, or something. I mean, it's just so long, and it's got tons of little clips because I film in clips. Sometimes I'm interrupted, I run out of battery, my phone rings. So you're going to see a lot of transitions from clip to clip. So please forgive that. I should have picked a really short little video to do this, but no, not me. I have to pick like the longest video ever. Well, today we are going to play with my little envelope digital collection made out of like vintage wallpapers. And I love, love, love this kit. It's so much fun. I'm going to be making, I think, 3 or 4 different envelopes because there's so many of them. There's like impossible. I couldn't do them all. So what I did is that I picked the different templates from, most of the templates are from Graphic Fairy. And some of them might be like a little bit off, when you fold them. I used my scoreboard to score like all the corners and everything. And then I use my bone folder to make the corners, to make the fold really sharp. And then sometimes when you fold it, you'll be like a little bit off, and then I just use like my scissors or something to just like clip it off and make it like all perfect and square, like, nothing square, like I'm not even a home square. I mean, nothing square. But just like a little tip that you might need to, trim a little bit here, a little bit there, especially on the little ones, which are a little bit more challenging. So what I did is that I picked 5 or 6 different vintage wallpaper images that I liked, and I picked 5 or 6 templates that I liked. I would say 90% of the templates are from Graphic Fairs, but the other ones I made up myself. So what I did is that I used those 5 different papers and used them in all the different little envelopes. I mean, different sizes. I made like real big ones and like smaller one. Like for example, that one on the top right there that I'm touching, that one I love. That's like my favorite one. It's so cute. But that one I know for a fact that is a little bit off on the side. It's a little tiny little bit off. You might have to like trim it a little bit. But other than that, they're perfect. And they all work together. And the colors that I picked for the vintage wallpaper, they match a lot of the digitals that I already have. Okay, here I'm showing you the bone folder, which is like your best friend with any of these, anything that there's a lot of folding involved. Guys, I've tried, I try the credit card, but the best thing is like the bone folder. And this one is a tall one. I love that one. I made it like the whole one to a page. I love it. And then I made some smaller ones, and those tall, skinny ones are really nice. I also added on every page a little, it says postcard. And they're these little kind of faux washi type of tape looking thing. And I'm going to show you at the end what I did with mine. Every page has 1 or 2 of them in different colors and sizes. And at the end, I'm going to show you what I did with mine. I'm not going to show you how I did it because it's kind of a little bit like self-explanatory, but I'm going to show you what I did with mine. That'll be all the way at the end. So here I'm showing you the different, the different, sizes of the envelopes and everything. I love that one with the opening a lot. That one I'm going to be doing the little tutorial on. And I have some greens. I love that blue one. It's so pretty. I just love it. And I like the little blue one at the end, at the bottom. So what I did with these is that I printed them just for myself to see, for me to see the difference. I printed them in white, and then I printed them in this little ivory. I think I got my paper is it's cardstock, and I think it's either I think it was Hobby Lobby where I got it. And the beige one just gives it more of like a little bit of a vintage look. But today we're going to be using the white one. And for the inside, for like little inserts, I picked whatever scraps I had like on my desk. But I also printed, this one is that In the Garden collection. And I think these envelopes work really, really well with my In the Garden collection. It's In the Garden, it's called In the Garden, but it's in French. I can't pronounce it. But I went ahead and I printed one set of the ones that I liked, and I'm going to be using some of those, for like little inserts. And some I printed in cardstock, and some I printed in just regular paper. That's just the backing, the back of the page. These are like little journaling cards, but they're a little bit longer. They're two to a page. I love these girls. They're so beautiful. I'm going to be using one of them in the envelopes. And here I'm just going on and on and on and on about the digitals because that's how I roll. So I should have edited the video first and then added the voiceover, but since I don't keep things simple, I always have to make everything complicated. I didn't edit the video, so there's going to be a lot of me just like, I go on and on and on. And then I just recorded my voice over it. So please bear with me. I promise I'm going to get better at this. First of all, my videos are not going to be as long. But this was a really fun project to make. The first one is going to be this little cluster. I'm calling them like envelope cluster. This one's the first one, and it's probably the longest one to make. And it involves 3 envelopes, a larger one, a medium one, and this teeny, teeny, tiny little one that I love. And I did little closures for them in the back. I'll be showing them. And see, this is all the little inserts that I use on this one. I made a little booklet out of scraps that turned out so cute. And then just like a little vintage book page and a little journaling card. And then the little closure. And they all have little closures, and I went with like the stamp theme. And most of the closures in the back, I think here I changed my mind because I don't want to break it, and I'll do it later. That one I use like this tiny little stamp again that I don't want to, I glued it and I have to, wiggle it a little bit and try to get it out, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to break it, so I do it off camera. And then this tiny little one is on the top, and then I added like this little tiny, tiny little half of a little tag, a label, and I used a little pin to glue it in. And then I'm going to also be working with my pre-made wax seal, and I'm so excited because I finally found a real tiny wax seal, because most of them are big. I have the little and the medium, but I have like the big ones. I have a few of them, but to be honest, I haven't used those yet. I find them so big. But I did use the medium ones and the real tiny, tiny little ones. I'm not going to be using that color. I'm saving those for fall. But I'm going to be using, like you see over there on the left-hand side, I'm going to be using a pink one, tiny little one. That's really cute. And I also added a little glitter on I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I added a little glitter on the wax, and they turned out so pretty. They like blend, like the glitter kind of like blends in. They turn out really, really nice, and I want to play with those again. I did it like I wasn't rushed, but I didn't plan a whole time slot, like a few hours. I did it like in an hour. So I wanted to plan more time to do more seals. So the only time I use a wax seal is on this little envelope. I'm going to show you how I did that. And then this one, I wanted to use that big one. There was one to a page. I really wanted to use that one. So I did it like that. And then that's the final one, which is one of the longer envelopes that I really like to. Um, and I think I'm saying that I'm using some of the longer little label. Oh no, this is what I did. No, what I'm saying is this is what I did. Remember I told you I was going to show you how what I did with those little faux washings. I made like these cute little tassels. They're so cute. Um, I just kind of layered between the edges. I ripped to make them look, torn, and then I inked them. That's what I'm saying there. And then what I did is that I layered between the strips. I went ahead and I layered different types of laces and trims, but you can even add more laces and trim in it. It'll even look more like a tassel. But I added like one behind each of the little paper strips. And then what I did, I picked like colors that I liked and the sizes that I liked. So they kind of went like in a cascading size. And then what I did is that I just had a little scraps from my desk, a little sari, and then I tied it all together by sewing just a simple zigzag on top of the sari. And then I had for my beads, that was an old rosary that I've had forever that I don't know where I found it. I'm not even Catholic, but I found it junking around. And I really liked it. And I kind of made like little tassel feet. And then I added this tiny little insert of a doily that I cut out. And I found these tiny, tiny, tiny little bling and I added that. And I only had like two of those blings, so it was like perfect. And I really liked how they turned out. So you have enough between the entire, if you print the whole kit, you have enough that you can easily make two pretty tassels that you can use like page edgers, or they can be bookmarks, or they'll be cute for Happy Mail to put them like a little Happy Mail or pretty much wherever you like. Okay, so now we are getting started with the first envelope cluster, which is the three little envelopes. And I have already, I went ahead and I had already cut all my envelopes and I inked them so that the video wouldn't have been 5 hours. I inked them, I glued them, and I just gave them a once over with the little bone folder. So going with the postage theme, I wanted to add like a postage, like a stamp somewhere. I'm going to be using like stamps, printables, and I'm also going to be stamping the image of a stamp or a seal or something like that. I'm going to be working with these stamp sets, and I don't know the names because when I started this cataloging system for my stamps that works really well, I didn't write the name, so I don't know the names. But I know that I'm going to be working with that little stamp that looks like a little seal type of like a postage stamp. And I'm going to be using the Memento, which is the here. What I'm doing is that I'm trying because I didn't have my glasses on, of course, so I didn't know if the stamp was right side up or whatever. So I'm testing the image before I put it on the envelope. And I'm using this ink that's permanent. And it's like in a cocoa, like a brown. It's real pretty. It's not too dark. And this is my Yucky Yucky stamp mat that I've had for 20 years that I'm using forever. And it's just so horrible, but it's so soft and it's perfect. And it used to have the picture of one of my Shih Tzus, but you can't see her anymore. So I probably do need to get another stamping mat, but I love that one so much that I don't see me getting one anytime soon. So I wanted to add more little things just for fun. I want to use more of my stamps. So I add this little, kind of like a flourish, little like a sprig, and I added in this little, in these two little corners that they look a little bit like blank to me. And I really liked how that turned out. And that brown that I picked was like almost perfect with, um, you can even emboss it. That wouldn't that be pretty if you, um, see that color looks really pretty with the colors that are in the wallpaper, in the printable that I use. So just for a little extra more touch, you can do this with like a Versamark and add embossing powder, and that would look really nice. And just um, heat it, set it with heat, even a little bit of, I don't know, some soft glitter, but I don't really have any soft glitter. I have like bright, bright glitter. So here, what am I doing here? I'm thinking of my next step, which is, I think it's like what I want to put inside the little envelope. I kind of like how it looks. It's already been inked and everything, all over, inked, inked, inked. And now I think I want to figure out, because I think I'm going to open a little eyelet, like a tiny little hole in the corner to dangle my two other little envelopes. So I want to do my inserts kind of like before I open the little hole, because I don't want to catch my inserts with the little hole opener thingy. Here I think I want to touch up this really cute little, what I did is that I sewed in the middle and then I ran the little sari. I want to just kind of ink it a little bit. I didn't get to do that. And I love to ink stuff. I think it just things pop out. So I'm just not being really neat, just kind of, just picking pages here and there and just inking a little bit. And my favorite to ink, I like corduroy, and I like, but the one that I'm using there is Vintage Photo, which I have like three of them, and they're all over the place. Um, and you know that I don't know about all the other ones, but Vintage Photo, the oldest one, the oldest Vintage Photo I have that I keep using the little refill for it. The other two are more new. Um, the colors are a little bit different than the ones that are new. I don't know why, but I've noticed that, but nobody else will notice. Only because one time I used a newer pad with an older pad in the same journal, and I could tell that it was taking the color was like a little bit different. But anyway, here I don't know which one I'm using, but I always like to ink the back too, because I figure that that's where I journal, because the front is kind of like for pretty, and I really journal in the back. So I don't want to cut myself short and make it pretty in the back too. So I always ink in the back. I'm fixing it's just a little scrap piece of sari that I used. So I want to make sure that it fits in there. And it will. Even with the little knot, it still fits in there. And then I have enough room that I can still open the little eyelet hole. And see, I'm shoving them down a little bit so I can still open the little eyelid hole. Now for the little closure in the back, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use, look at these, I'm going to use one of these longer, I'm going to use a little piece of that washi later, one of those longer stamps, and I think that one might have numbers on it. I love anything with numbers on them. So I think I was going to leave it hanging, like having the little flap kind of hanging, but since I put three to a dangle, that wasn't going to work. They kept on catching each other out. They kept on tangling each other. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do closures. So I did a little. like a little slot type of thing, just like that. And then the little tip of the envelope goes in there. So I'm going to hold that a little bit while it dries out a little bit. So that makes it safe, and I don't have to worry about things popping out. Okay. So this one is kind of done. Let's see, I'm looking for my little hole puncher, which is a tiny, tiny, tiny little hole puncher that I love. And I already felt that it was safe for me to punch the little hole in there, that I wasn't going to catch on my little insert, and it didn't, because I checked afterwards and it did. So I'm punching my little hole right there, and then I'm going to put this little guy aside because I'm pretty much done with him. And then I think I move on to my other one, which is this little envelope, the medium one. I'm going to call it the medium one. And again, I've already inked the whole little thing in and out, you know, the inside, because I like it to be like on the inside too. And then I'm going to do a little something on that blank side. I'm going to use this piece of washi that I had already pre-cut. It's from an old washi collection, Parisian theme, and it doesn't have a lot of glue because it's so old, but I love it because the images are so pretty, and there's numbers, and it has a little bit of red. So we can correct that with a little bit of glue. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue on the washi just to make sure that it holds. And it does. And then I'm going to let it dangle a little bit on the bottom because I like that look. Then I fold it, and I later on it pops up because I didn't hold it long enough. But anyway, you can just use a little bit more glue, and that's it, just for like a little frame on the bottom. And then I'm gonna add a tiny, tiny little piece of trim that I found. I'm going to be using my glue gun through this because I missed using my glue gun all those years that I was doing scrapbooking. You know, we needed that Arcavio, that acid-free glue. So we never used the glue gun. So now that I'm doing journals, and it doesn't matter, nothing has to be acid-free, I get to play with my glue gun as often as I can. So that one's already on there. And do I add anything else to it? No, but I don't. I'll be right back. If something happened, I have to be back. Um, I think I haven't added the little inserts. I'm getting rid of that mat. Oh God, that mat is so gross. But it works. Okay, I think I'm going to try to see if I can get some little inserts to go in the little envelope. This is a time when I should have edited the video a little bit because I forgot what I was saying here. But oh my God, you guys are so good if you stick with me through this video. I am telling you, I should give a prize. Okay, so I saw a little empty space up there that I wanted to add something. And I found that cute little, kind of like a flourish. So I'm going to add that on the little tip on top. There goes that mat again. And I'm going to use the ink again. And I think the size of that stamp was perfect for the little envelope. I mean, when you do your little clusters, the wallpaper is so beautiful that you really don't need to add anything. But I don't know, I was cleaning out my stamps and reorganizing my stamps, and I'm like, I have such pretty stamps that I never use. And I have all that real estate in the journals that I can do it. I can use them. So I'm on a mission. So I found my little inserts for this little excuse me, this little envelope. And I'm going to use that little journaling spot circle thing that I folded in half and inked it a little bit. That fits. I was just trying to see if it fits. And that's a little label. There you go. And then I still need to do my little closure there. So I'm going to use, guys, I found these little stamps. They're adorable. I don't know where I found them. I don't know if it was a free, I don't know if it was the Graphic Fairy or a free, I don't know. But I guess you can do that with anything. You just size it small enough. But these are so cute and they're perfect to scale with the little envelopes. I have like, on that little set, I had 4 different sizes. So I think I use them all on different little envelopes. I use them all. They look adorable. So that's going to be my little pretend little closure for the back. I think that looks so cute. And I think on the day that I recorded this, it was raining. And I really wanted to be in my studio. I really, 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 really wanted to be in my studio. So I was trying to make everything stretch out the project. You know how when you're doing like a really nice project that you really love? At least I do. I do it like in slow motion because I don't know, I want to stretch it out. So that's why the video is so long, because I was taking my time. So here I am already making sure I'm not punching the little insert, and I'm going to create the little opening on this guy too. So now I have 2 little envelopes for my little tassel, envelope tassel. And this one is the tiny one, tiny teeny, and it's so cute. This would look just cute hanging by itself anywhere. It's adorable. Real tiny. And I found a little stamp for it, which is that burgundy. It's almost like a hot, hot, hot pink, and it matches the flowers perfectly. It's so tiny. I think I needed to use like a little plier, a little tweezer to hold it because it was so tiny. I like working with tiny little stuff, like tiny little journals or just tiny little projects. So here we go. This is a little bit of a challenge, and of course I have to ink everything. I think it's a habit. At this point, it's a habit. So I'm going to see how this voiceover thing works for me, because it has to, I guess I gotta get used to it so that it sounds natural. I don't sound fake. I don't sound like, I don't know. I don't know. I just have to practice. So wish me well. Sometimes I like the voiceovers because if the video is not so long, it's easier. And see, I'm using the tweezer there to move the glue around, but I finally get it. Oh, look what I did. I made a mistake. No problem. Just switch it around. Thank God it didn't dry. So I switch it around. You know, we make mistakes when we're crafting, but there's really no mistakes in crafting. So I glue it again. And then I got to see how this voiceover thing recorded, because I haven't figured out how to use the mic. One thing at a time I can handle. Okay, I still have a couple of goals that I haven't reached. for this year. One of them is that I would like to get monetized on YouTube, which I could have gotten monetized like a year and a half ago, but I haven't done it. And I have a friend that keeps telling me to do it. And I said, yeah, I got to figure out, I got to open an account, a Google Sense, whatever account. So that was one of my goals for January. And it's August. And I haven't done it. And the other one was to do voiceovers. And I said to myself I was going to learn how to do that in January. And it's August, and I'm doing my first one. Oh, just a little bit late. Who's counting? Okay, so what am I doing here? I am picking. Oh boy, I'm not done with this little guy. I am picking. Look how pretty this stamp collection is. I think I'm gonna pick something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick the edge of this little flower or something, just to add a little extra touch, just kind of off the little stamp. I wish I had the camera aiming more down so you could have seen it. I don't know if I think I might bring it up, but it turned out really cute. I was just so enjoying myself doing that. Yeah, see how you can barely see how cute the little, look how cute. I love it. Yeah, I need to get my little insert or whatever I'm going to put in there. So I'm going into my little powder, my loose powder box or whatever you call that. And I'm looking for something that I can put in there that's kind of little. And I found this little label that I'm going to, I think I'm going to fold in half. Yeah, get rid of that mat. Yep. Of course, I'm going to ink it a little bit. This was just such a relaxing, I really truly enjoyed myself doing this project. I was not rushed, as you can tell. And I was really just enjoying it. Fold it. Whenever I do my journals, I always try to add little surprises everywhere. So the recipient, every time they open a little envelope or a little fold or a little tip in or a little something, they get a little surprise. So there goes that. Oh, that's so cute. The little stamp is adorable. Yeah, that's where I'm going to punch the little hole. But now I think I do a little closure for this little guy too. And the closure is going to be, I think it's the green little stamp. Yep. It's the green one. I think, guys, after this one, after this little tassel, these three little envelopes are kind of like done. I do three more, so it's like I said, it's going to be a long video. So what I think I'm going to do when I'm done with putting this one together, I'm going to set the rest of the video to music, and you can just look at it when you like, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see what I'm doing. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm gonna set the rest of the video Um, yeah, I'm almost done with this one, and then I'm going to show you how I put it together. But I'm going to kind of stop it right here, and I'm going to set the entire video, the rest of it, to music. And then I apologize again for it being so long, but if you stuck throughout this, I really appreciate it. So, and I promise I'm going to be getting better at this. Okay, guys, God bless. Enjoy the video.